Good morning, you secret sensualist you. I knew there were some of you guys that would be interested in the sensual coffee experience that I talked about in the post yesterday with the solar power guys. But I didn't expect so many of you to actually message and ask for the juicy details. So to save me from unnecessary typing and you guys from having to wait for the delicious magic, I'm doing it live so you can enjoy it this morning. So I believe sensuality is a superpower and that it's different than what we typically associate it with. Most of us think of sensuality as sex or the precursor to sex, that if someone's being sensual, they're being overtly sexual. But I see sensuality as basically the embodiment of your senses, of your body. You're being super present with the experiences around you, the experiences you're creating. So to be a sensualist is actually to be one of the most present and attentive people. And that's what makes it a superpower, because then you can taste the layers in the different experiences and find the ones you love and lean into them more, and find the ones that aren't good and lean away from those. And you can create so many masterpieces from just being present with your senses. Oh, can you imagine what that would be like in the different areas of your life? Imagine no longer, you can now play. And we're gonna start with coffee, or whatever your favorite morning beverage is. Mimosas, tea, I don't know, some of those gross green grass shakes. You can pick. So you're gonna get your beverage, and we have 5 main senses we tend to live through. So the first one, sight. Just look at your beverage and be really present with what it looks like. So I love creamy coffee. So I'm looking at the swirls of cream and the dark liquids, and I'm picking out all the different shades, and I'm seeing the different patterns that happen on the top, and just loving what it looks like and being really present with what it looks like. And then feeling the heat of the mug in my hands. And that's one of my favorite sensations in the world. Sometimes I just carry around a cup of hot coffee because I want to carry it around and I never get around to drinking it. So feeling what it feels like to have that warm cup of coffee, and then smell it. How many layers of fragrance can you pick out? How many different notes? Like, there's the note of cream, and I can smell the honey, and I can smell the coffee. And this particular coffee is a Black Rifle coffee blend. Why not put a little plug out there for the company? Because they make some bomb-ass coffee. And it's got like citrus notes and stuff in it. So what would it be like if I even tried to see if I could find some citrus in there? Like, be that present, be that curious about what you're about to experience. And coffee really doesn't make a sound. So, I mean, you could always, I guess, stir the cup and listen to the sound of the spoon tinking along the sides of the glass. But, you know, moral of the story is get really sensual. And then the favorite part is taste. And so many of us just gulp down our drinks and gulp down our food, and we don't stop and explore the layers and experience the journey of what we're eating and drinking. So here, before you take your sip, you sillies, take the sip, but hold it in your mouth. Don't just swallow it. Hey, Kathleen, Wesley, Abriana, I see some of you juicy babes. Thanks for joining me. Tell me if you're drinking with me. So when you hold it in your mouth, you don't swallow. You want to try to find all of those notes that you smelled, or all of the things that you know are in there. So sometimes I like to put chili powder and cinnamon and stuff in my coffee to give it a totally different experience. So when it's on my tongue and I'm holding it there, I want to find the chili. I want to find the cream. I want to find the honey. I want to find the coffee, of course. All the different flavors I can pull from just holding it in my mouth. But then it changes the more you leave it there, as the different pads of your tongue pick up the different flavors and they shift and they mold. So maybe that cream turns into a totally different flavor that was cream under the cream, or the afterburn of some of that chili. Like, how does the flavor change? and get really curious about that. Wesley, I've got my coffee too, but I'm at a volleyball game. You can do this at the volleyball game. No one needs to know what's happening on the inside. So it's on your tongue. You're feeling the heat. You're tasting the layers. If you don't have allergies, you can be breathing at the same time. So just, hey Thomas, make it a big experience of being so fully present with that one sip of coffee that it almost becomes a whole new world for you. And then you swallow and you feel the warmth going down and exploding in your stomach. And how many of you have ever felt that? How many of you ever been so attentive to what you're drinking that you can feel it traveling down your throat and hitting your stomach? And if it's really hot and you drink something really cold, most of us have experienced this. But if you're kind of cool and you drink something hot, you can experience it too. It's really fun. It's one of my favorite sensations. So have that sip, but then open your mouth and go and breathe in a big breath of air, and all of the flavors are going to re-explode on your tongue in a different way. Did you know you could have so many flavors in one sip? Hey, Andy. So play with that. And that is how you start learning to tap into your senses through something as common and mundane as your everyday cup of coffee or tea or whatever. And this opens the doorway for you to be able to do this with other things. So what if you had this amount of presence with, oh, Aubriana, well, now you know what to do when you get your coffee later. Hey, kitty. What if you did this with that everyday casual hi-bye kiss you do with your partner? What if you paid attention to the sensations that happened when your partner met eyes with you? What are you feeling there? What do you feel when you're looking at them? And what do you feel knowing that you're being looked at back? Some of us can get kind of uncomfortable when we see someone really seeing us. And that's pretty common. I remember the first time I did like conscious eye contact with Mark. We were sitting on the couch, I was snuggled in his lap, and we were doing eye contact, and I couldn't stop laughing because I was so uncomfortable feeling vulnerable with him really, really seeing me. It's silly, but it's true. And it takes a minute to like get over the discomfort of having someone be fully present with you and you being fully present with someone else, because even though that's where the real intimacy happens, that's where the real vulnerability sits too, and then stuff can get scary. So start with the coffee, start with your food, and then start playing with other experiences. Like, I know some of you are artists watching. What if this presence was brought into your art? Would it change the textures that you use? Would it change the creations that came out of it? It would certainly change the experience of you doing your work. And fitness, moving your body. I know quite a few of you, Aubriana, pretty fucking hardcore with fitness. What if you were this present while you were moving your body and you could feel the subtleties of like different muscles stretching and flexing that you weren't aware of, and you could start paying attention to when your balance goes off and you lose form, or when you're pushing your body past that good point and you start going into grossness. Like, that's the superpower of sensuality. Learning to be super fucking present with everything, and then start to navigate the situations and manipulate them, craft them, mold them into what you want them to be, so you get more of the yumminess, more of the full sensory coffee, and less of the flat, casual, gross things that have you missing the most amazing experiences of life and staying in survival mode instead of being able to thrive. So that's coffee magic. If any of you guys have any thoughts, if you try this with your beverages, I want to know. If you try this with kissing, I want to know. If you try this with art, I also want to know. Whatever. I want to know what your thoughts and your feelings and your sensations are about this. So thanks for joining me for some sexy coffee time, and embrace the inner sensualist that you all have sitting inside that maybe you haven't gotten to know yet. Mwah. Love you much. Talk to you soon.